fan myself, so it was upsetting not to see him debut, and was delisted shortly after he was drafted. Trained in on with the St Kilda Footy Club in the pre-season, but unfortunately had former Carlton player Liam Stocker and Northern Knights product Anthony Caminiti picked over him. But it's going to be great to see what he can produce today, and if he puts up a good enough performance, he might actually get an opportunity to play with the twos at Collingwood next week, but we'll just have to see. And both sides, Phillip Island's beginning to find their positions. Warragul getting in a team huddle. This is a great first round of contest. It feels really well matched up. Whoever has done the fixture has just done a terrific job. Of course, Tooradin Dalmore versus Coralline was a really good contest last week, probably up until maybe the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter, where the Gulls just hurried away with the lead a bit. And even today's other contest that we're not live streaming, Inverloch Kongwak versus Narnagoon, that's also another really even contest. Of course, Inverloch Kongwak were upset by the Dusties in the elimination final. One of the biggest upsets of the year, that was. But is this just a Cinderella story? Or can they back it up in season 2023, the Dusties? We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, conditions rather windy today, and as soon as I rocked up here to Cows, the heavens, they just let loose. So not the greatest conditions for football today, but nonetheless still expecting a great contest between these two great clubs. So we just wait for things to get underway. So here we go, umpire ready to get things started. And here we go, in the ruck, smacked out by the Bulldog. In number 22, of course, the first team sheet mistake of the day. No 22 on the list. We'll chase that up as it goes out in the full from Michael Debenham. Was pressured highly by the Bulldog, and it's going to be Jack Taylor, rather another Bulldog. Of course, we will get all changes from the clubs hopefully soon. There have been a couple of number changes already. Ball goes down. It was Papas fighting for it. Couldn't get in the ends. It's just going to be a little bit of a contest here on the boundary. Umpire calls for it back. So born up, Pedersen in the ruck. Was going against Mockett. And that's a good tackle laid by the Bulldog. And once again, another jumper change. We've had 3 so far. So apologies for that. Handballed off. Going through the wings, Taylor. The kick was a little bit off. Remember, it is slippery conditions today. Just tapping the ball around at the 50-metre arc. Umpire blows the whistle for a throw. And Dusties, who haven't had a lot of possession so far in the opening minute, finally get a clean touch. It's turned over. Goes over to Dukaya. And the ball will find its way over to the boundary line. So it's Mockett in the ruck for the Dusties. He hasn't been impressive early. No one hit out to advantage in that instant. Spat out was the ball. And then it was almost a soccer from Debenham. Was unsuccessful in the end. Had to find Beveridge, who centralised the kick and found a teammate. And then uses the hands. Ogden streaming through the middle. Oh, the kick was a little bit ugly though, wasn't it? Trying to crumb it up was the Dusty. Didn't get there in the end. Bodies knocked over. Mockett, he's open. Hands it off. Couldn't get it to Visser in the end. And it looks like we'll have another stoppage here. And umpire eventually blows the whistle. So Pedersen wins the hit out. was a turnover in the end though. Can they drop back the Phillip Island Doggies? No, they couldn't get there and fill the hole. They've got the numbers here though. Taps out just into open space, running over the ball. They're liking the forward pressure here from the Dusties. Got caught holding. They want holding the ball. Do the Dogs fans? Just a long high kick. Mockett comes in with a fist. And Phillip Island recover. Or wait, do they? Could have been a push in the back. Perhaps not. Umpire, let's play continue. It's going to be Billy Taylor who hands it off. And then Brown kicks it over to his teammate who had to duck. Snaps was being tackled, sorry. And now it's in the pocket of Phillip Island. The forward pocket, sorry. So ball in, Mockett punches. And then there's a Dusty there just trying to bully his way through the tackle. I believe it was Mockett again, who's been really busy early, hasn't he? He's had plenty of hit-outs already. Couple touches as well. Pedersen, he's just all class though, isn't he? The former Melbourne player, and Roos as well. Played 64 games for the D's, 16 for the North Melbourne Football Club. So both sides just feeling each other out here. A bit of a stalemate, not much scoring happening. Could have been in the back. Free kick wasn't paid. Walker tried to get on top of the ball. And then it's going to be kicked out of defensive 50 by Warragul Industrials. No mark taken by Phillip Island. They've had a couple of missed marks there due to the wet conditions. Holding the ball, no. It's going to be handballed out into the pack. Taylor almost turned it over, was smacked across. Bulldogs just weren't clean enough in the ends. Now along the wing, it's going to be a lot of soccer today. Here's McGarity, kicked 56 goals last year. Couldn't get to it in time. Ball's been brought in. They want holding the ball. Won't pay. It's my ball. And now McGarity, he's getting a little bit stuck into another former AFL player, and Daniel Pearce. He played around about 6 games, I believe, for the Western Bulldogs. So picked up by Griffin. Kicks it down into the centre square, taps along by the Dusty. They're pushing through here. Visser, handball, couldn't find a teammate. Try to go through the corridor, was unsuccessful. Walker was grabbed. Now it's Todd Beck, the captain. Clean inside 50 entry, contested mark. No, not quite. Had the 3-on-1 to Phillip Island's advantage. Ball spits out. Handball, McGarity lurking, rather Beveridge. Now snap across the body. Will that have the distance? Yes. Great crumbing from the forward line of the Dusties. And it was Mitch Puppers in the end who was able to score that one. So it's been a pretty even contest so far, hasn't it? Hasn't it been? This play resumes now. Another inside 50 entry for Warragul. No contested mark taken there by the dangerous forward in McGarity. Really liking the forward craft here. Brewster just had to run onto it. Faked a handball, then try to snap around his body, and it's going to go over the boundary line. Or sorry, the goal line for a minus score. So on your Totally Workwear scoreboard, it reads 1-1-7 for Warragul Industrials to the Bulldogs, 0-0-0. They've had plenty of opportunities, have had a lot more possession of the football, but just haven't been able to be really damaging with it. So they're just going to send it down the line towards a pack. That's an impressive contested mark taken there by Max Blake. Just moving it slowly. Phillip Islands. That's a really big kick. Another one goes down the line. Was pushed out of it, Todd Beck. Regain possession though. Potential inside 50 entry. No, the mark was spoiled just in time. More soccering balls. Brewster slipped out of his hands. Griffin kicks it forward to a teammate. They've got the numbers here, Phillip Island. Just need to be creative with the footy. Beveridge working so hard to get on top of it. And ends up at the end of the pile. Pedersen again. Kimber handballed it out into space. Dusties was successful in gaining it. And that was a punch over the boundary line. So ball in by the umpire. Mockett got it out. Only as far as Hayden Bruce. Luke Walker used the body to get over the top. And then it smacked to the advantage of Warragul Industrials. Goes for a little bit of a run down the line. Taylor presented, couldn't take it. And then it's going to be Dekaya. He was wrapped up. And then a kick by Phillip Island. No good to a mark. So they're just getting so many rebound 50s are Warragul Industrials. McGarity didn't have the height to affect the kick. It's going to be Pearce running off half back. Centralises it. Need to have a bit of dare here, do the Bulldogs. Need to start moving a bit further through the corridor, I reckon. But this wing game is working fine. Was tackled. And will it be a free kick or did he... No, he didn't find his way to the boundary line. So free kick for Warragul Industrials. They'll go down the line again. They're finding a lot of possession down here on this wing. Phillip Island regain the turnover, and that's a good mark inside 50. And it's a great lead out from Mitch Puppers there. So he'll have a set shot from, looks to be around about maybe 50, 45 out or so. Directly in front. Of course, the wind is a pretty big factor today. Puppers rolls in, coming back. Not quite. And I think a goal umpire's been knocked over here. He has been. And he can't stand on the foot. Oh no. Now I think he's okay in the end though. Good scenes there. Knocked over. Warragul run onto it. Oh, that's courageous. Couldn't take the mark. Got a bit of a knee into the ribs there. Was lucky not to have any damage. Still running onto it is Will Jolly. And now just above the 50-metre arc of Warragul, we resume play. Plenty of stoppages early on. Plenty of contested scenarios. And it looks like we'll have another one here in almost the exact same position. This time it was Nick Visser who was tackled whilst holding the ball. So taps out by Warragul Industrials. Inside 50 entry. Presenting was the forward. Couldn't get it in the end though. And they've just got the spare numbers down back, don't they, Phillip Island? They're entering inside 50 at a much higher rate, the Dusties, but Phillip Island have just got enough numbers and they're always making it a really hard contest for guys, for the Dusties down there. To Kimber. Kick down the line. Now they're out here, the Bulldogs. Just got to keep up this fast-paced ball movement. Falling back into the flight of the ball. No, not quite. Just kicked into the air. And a contested mark taken. And it's going to be Cameron Pedersen who took the contested mark just in front of the goal square. Was selected with the 17th pick in the 2011 rookie draft by the North Melbourne Footy Club. He played 2 years there and played 5 years at the Melbourne Footy Club in the AFL, as we mentioned before. Pedersen, 2019 West Skippy League BNF, is going to score. So all tied up here. at Phillip Island, 7 apiece on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Play resumes. Mockett has probably been the best player on ground early in this first quarter. Bowl rolling towards McGarity was Griffin, just had the space on him, still couldn't win the ball in the end. Visser, McGarity snaps it around the body. Oh no, it's been a drop mark right in front of goal. Do they still have a chance here, the Dusties? Pushed off it, and he's going to find home at the boundary line. He's Alex Duaka. Apologies if I am pronouncing that name wrong. I usually look up on Google for pronunciations of last names if I can't find them, but Duaka, that's an interesting one that I couldn't find. So apologies to him if the name is wrong there. So McGarity, ineffective disposal, exits inside 50. Can they repeat though? Kimber lost it, picked up by the Dusty, and Bailey Beck, the brother of Todd Brewster, running for it. Will he get there in time? He just beat the boundary line, and they're looking for McGarity. Oh, still got it. Sidestepped around the body. Is it looking good? No. It's a nice punch. Last line of defence by Tarkin McMillan. McGarity would have had one of the better goals of the season so far. We've only had the one game if he was able to score that, but ball just didn't have enough height on it, and they want 50 here. The ball did go out on the full. They won't get it. Warrigal. So kicked inside 50. Contested marks are going to be reeled down today. Visser was an option, but not before. It was McGarity in the tackle, taken down. And Staples didn't get the hit out to anyone in the end. Another boundary throw in. Ball went a bit over both ruckmen. Can the halfbacks from Phillip Island produce here? Perhaps not. Oh, he was caught high there. Had the perfect angle. They won't pay it though. So tapped. Just got it off in the nick of time. It was a little bit of good candy sold there by Kane Oldham. Sets high ball up forward. Taylor got it over to Tarkin McMillan. And it's going to go over the boundary line. Tarkin McMillan won the club BNF for Phillip Island in the twos last year. He's been playing an important role in the back line so far, 16 minutes into this first quarter. Saved that McGarity goal, of course. Staples hits it out to the boundary line once again, and I'm suspecting we're going to get a very long quarter here. From Phillip Island, we're loving the defence that our halfbacks are producing, but you know the disposal efficiency has been a bit of a downer, and just need a bit more of slingshot action you'd like to see from the Dogs. McGarity open again. Is he successful this time? He is. Mason McGarity. That's his first major for the year. So 2-2-14 to the Bulldogs, 1-1-7. I think the scoreboard down here at Phillip Island, I don't think they counted the behind that was there, but Mockett tried to punch the ball out, ended up getting a bit of the Dogs' face then. Another kick inside 50, and that was a lot cleaner. Got the centre clearance, and we're just able to find option after option, and eventually ended up with Travis Woodfield, who now has a 40-metre set shot opportunity on a pretty tough angle. Woodfield for the second goal of the day for Phillip Islands. No, not quite. And I'm just starting to think that I am doing scoreboard today, so maybe I didn't see the umpire's call correctly, and it may actually be 1-1-7 for the Bulldogs after that misset shot. Nonetheless, play goes out to the wing. Staples was looking to get it, but was just too far out of the pack there. And once again, another stoppage. Pedersen knocked it to his teammates. Oh, found himself wide open, did Puppers, who had the first goal of the game leading out. Had plenty of space in front of his man. Did Woodfield, who just missed the set shot prior and now has another opportunity, and he's going to test it out again. I'd say it's about 47 metres out, similar angle to the last one, just on the opposite end of the ground. Has a lot of wind to account for. Woodfield rolls in, and that's going to go all the way to the left this time. So kick out by Luke Walker, tries to find Staples. The ball was set a little bit high though, gave Pedersen the opportunity to knock it across the boundary line. So trying to charge through was Brewster. Was unsuccessful. Two Bulldogs players just got a hand to him there. 20 minutes through this first term. Thanks for joining us at Red Onion for the Fairhaven Match of the Round stream. Enjoying your company here as it goes out to the wing. Some more soccer played by the Warragul Industrials Footy Club. They're loving that sort of game today. Eventually crumbed it, got it out to his teammate in Jolly, who took his time, set a high one up forward. Contested mark, not quite. Trying to run onto it was Beveridge. Didn't get there in the end. Oldham still fighting. Got in Jolly's way though. Dropped ball by the Bulldog. And then eventually got out of defensive 50. Pedersen, he's going to have to go for a bit of run here. Didn't have enough confidence to beat out Jolly in the run there. And how they got out of this was just class from Phillip Islands. Of course, probably the best side over the last 3 years other than last year. However, it's going to be another inside 50 entry once again for Warragul Industrials. Staples got caught in a bit of trouble, and the Bulldogs show their frustration, wanting the free kick there. Didn't have much opportunity there. Thought that would have been a bit harsh if he had a free kick. Staples at the back of the pack sends a tumbling one across the goal line. Nicely done, Shane Brewster. So I think it's fair to say that they've certainly been the better side today so far, Warragul. Just inside 50 entry after inside 50 entry. Pedersen got it to Bruce, who spat it out. Kick going forward. No lead presenting though. Eventually got the ball, did the Phillip Island player. Still Handballing around. Bruce has enough time. Snaps it across. Once again, no mark taken. It's slippery today. Woodfield still looking for his first after 2 scoring shots. Eventually comes out for Warragul Industrials. Going towards the broadcast side of the wing. Kicking along the grounds. Was caught up. McGarity. Clean kick. Presenting. Was the Forden? No. Will once again go over. Last touched by Alex Chikaya of the Bulldogs. A goal umpire got the new Pumas on there. Looking fresh. And there goes the siren. So the quarter is actually a bit shorter than I thought it would have been. Just 23 minutes on the clock there. And the scoreboard reads 3-2-20 for Warragul Industrials to the Bulldogs 1-8. Just been a lot of repeat inside 50 entries for this Warragul Industrials side as they have looked really strong to start off. Quarter time, we'll be back shortly, but for now, just a word from our sponsors.
Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years.
So welcome back to the round of the match in the West Gippsland League, presented to you by Fairhaven Homes. Warragul leading Phillip Island 20-8, so 12 points. The difference there, and it's been an interesting contest so far. Phillip Island, and as you can hear, the wins there, they've probably had a good reason that they haven't scored a lot. The Warragul have probably had a bit of the wind going in their favour throughout that last 23 minutes. And as it's quarter time, Inverloch and Narnagoon are tied at 19 apiece. Narnagoon are looking a bit accurate there. They've kicked 7 goals, and they're playing at Inverloch today, which is notoriously windy. So, yeah, no blame there. And I think I actually was correct on Phillip Island's missing that behind from before. The goal umpire was knocked over on a shot for goal from, I believe it was Travis Woodfield, and down here at the actual ground they did take a while to update it, but no, it is 3-20 for Warragul Industrials, leading the Bulldogs 1-8. So we're just waiting to resume play. And we've tried to update a couple of our number changes. Now there were a couple of guys, especially for Phillip Islands, that I didn't get in that quarter because of number changes. So huge apologies for that on my behalf. But let's get this second quarter started. Mockett versus Pedersen. It's been a great contest all day. Mockett fighting for the footy inside 50, just had to slam it on the boot, did the Bulldog. They're looking a bit dangerous here, still not all that deep inside 50, however. Just dished it off to his teammates in, I believe it was Max Blake, couldn't find him. Now Warragul getting out. Mockett, I reckon he's had about 15 touches of the footy today. He's been terrific. And now Staples, little drop punt. Won't find anyone in the end. Shrugged off McGarity, did the defender. That was really clean. I liked that. And then uncontested mark for Pedersen. Goes through the corridor. Little bit of rain starting to appear now. Walker, he's been impressive. Was run down. That's got to be holding the ball. You must pay that. Umpire says yes. And now it'll be interesting to see if Phillip Island will take their shot here. Of course, the wind's a little bit more in their favour now. Won't take the set shot, in fact, at all. And the kick inside 50 just went way over their head. So now they've got a bit of time to play with, do the Dusties. Debenham, the former YCW Stonecat, kicks it across field. McGarity couldn't take the mark, was pressured just enough by the former AFL player in Daniel Pearce. 2-on-1 situation. Pearce once again gets it again, kicks down and finds his teammate. So it was Bryce Hindhaugh who had that and punched over the boundary line. Rain starting to fall down now. It was horrendous before we went live on air. Just buckets of water falling beneath our little tent here at Phillip Island. Kimber was just a little bit too slow for it. Of course, Brendan Kimber is a legend of this club. 2017, 2018 and 2019 Team of the Year member, as a part of the West Gippsland League. Mockett and Visser were on top of Max Blake there, who's had a couple of possessions himself actually. Mockett hit out. Debenham has had a good start to the second quarter. Pedersen had to fight for it, went for the punch instead of the mark. Oldham. And here comes the rain. We're starting to feel it now. All the oh, look at the crowd running towards their cars. They're feeling it now. This is torrential downpour out of absolutely nowhere. Beveridge, Mockett. Then he'll go across to the further to the wing, back to Oldham. You can hear all the car doors being shut now. Don't blame them. Pedersen took the uncontested mark. It was good vision to see his teammate in Niven. Really slippery now, uncontested. Still had enough composure to grab it, did Cameron Brown. And Bailey Beck was just a bit too slow. So Brown, and even the wind on this side isn't good now either. This is just awful conditions. Cameron Brown is about 40 or so outs. That'd be impressive if he got that. And just had enough on it. The wind helped him out a bit there. And Phillip Islands kicked the first major of the second quarter. So Rain's holding a little bit off now. Beveridge, Beck on the wing. Just tackled Mitt's kick. Marquardt couldn't be taken. Phillip Islands, they're applying plenty of pressure now and starting to get a bit more of the possession, whereas Warragul in that first quarter, they were just winning all the contests. They were able to lock it inside 50, but it's been good signs from the Dogs so far. Mockett hit out, did not go to advantage. Taylor slid over. And Gibson was looking for the boundary line. And that's going to be their best friend today, really. They don't want to have it out on the wing, especially in uncontested scenarios where, or sorry, I should say contested scenarios where it's one-on-one, where they're just going to have to sock it out in front of them into open space. That is not where you want to be today. And it'll be Cole Beveridge actually ended up with the football, but umpire's going to pay a free kick in the favour of Phillip Island. Another inside 50. Taylor was presenting, just couldn't get there in the end. Niven, he's had a good game today. And just outside of Phillip Island's 50 now, Brown kicks the last goal. Shawholers have made it! Just went over Luke Walker's head. I was ready to call that a behind. And Brown has got two majors in a matter of minutes. So Brown has been by far the most dangerous player on the field throughout this second quarter. We're 6.5 minutes through, 3-2-20 for either side. It's kicked out by Hindhaugh and goes over the boundary line once again. And Rain has held off a little bit now, so people just starting to come out of the cars once again. The car siren going off there. Someone should probably attend to that. Kimber. Kick was smothered. Punched it out. Only as far as Mockett. Brewster at half back. Takes his time. Kicks it to the captain in Todd Beck. He's got to look out for the geese there. And then Pedersen was just at the back, played a bit of tunnel ball there. Oh, maybe the wrong decision in the end because Oldham is just a ball running. Big kick, and the wind's going to take that one all the way over. And should be another stoppage, or is McGarity quick enough? Yes, he is. And now we'll have a stoppage. So Fowler Usually a forward. This time going against Pedersen. Marked in the back pocket. Patiently waiting. They'll just have to go down the line again, the Bulldogs. Oh, he's got an open man there. Oh, he's dropped it. How can you blame him, though? The ball must be awfully slippery. Walker, Beck was put in an absolute Spartan like of a tackle. And now ball up in the centre square. Pedersen, just a king of the hit-outs, isn't he? Gibson was ran over by the Bulldog. Drops mark there. Taylor had the opportunity. Just going to take his time here. Just dribbles through for the Bulldogs. Max Blake. Taylor, the ultimate team man there. And now Phillip Island have hit the front. So scoreboard on the live stream is now updated. 26 Bulldogs to Warragul Industrials 20. They've really bounced back here, the Bulldogs. They're finding numbers out the back. They're clean with their hands despite the bad wet conditions. And Pedersen is just starting to dominate the ruck. Handballs over his head. Tapped it out to a teammate. Running onto it. Knee went into the head of Kimber. Got to get to it in time. Might be insufficient intent otherwise. Try to lay a Shepherd for Beck. Gets it. Calling for kicking. Other fans. Brewster. Lost it. Socket off the ground. Mocker just had to watch it go past. Kimber was an option. Wasn't chosen in the end by Woodfield. And we'll go through for a minor score. Walker taking kick-out duties once again as he's done all day, leading out in front of him. Oh, big bump laid there by Fowler, and the mark was still taken. That is impressive. And then Taylor leading out, clean as ever. So Jack Taylor won a Club B&F for Trinity Beach up in Cairns in 2021, and when he came back to Phillip Island last year, he was a 2022 Team of the Year player up down in the forward line for that side that did make the grand final to lose against Tooradin. And that is a great kick. Can you find a drop punt better than that? Jackie Taylor, the captain, kicks his first of the day. So it's now 13 points in favour of Phillip Island, and you just get the feeling that they're starting to take a bit of control of this game now. Warragul are really struggling to find really any possession of the footy, and when they are facing an immense amount of pressure from the Bulldogs. It's going to have to go to Debenham. Oh, speak of the devil. They finally have a clean possession. Fowler tried to fall for the ball, couldn't get it in the end. McGarity was trying to pick it up with Socket instead. I hear a whistle here. And he's calling for a back. Didn't say what the free kick was for, but it'll go in the way of McGarity. Maybe kicking in danger. He did have his fingers out towards the ball and was Socket across. So will he go for the goal here, McGarity? Oh, he's given that a fair kick. Won't have the accuracy, though. Ball's still alive. And goes over for Industrials, deep inside forward 50. So Fowler was almost taken out by Visser. Debenham was held across. And the ball exits inside 50, goes straight back to the captain and Todd Beck of the Dusties. However, Fowler couldn't take it. Brewster had the ball, was called to play on. Jolly, then handball to the McGarity, who was taken straight to grounds. And they're looking a lot more clean. I really maybe should have spoken up about their poor ball use and their lack of possession, because they've really turned it on since I've mentioned that. Pedersen has taken to grounds. Dusties couldn't get it at a ground level, and Phillip Island was seeking holding the ball there, but couldn't get it out. Didn't have enough opportunity, rather. So kicked out to the far side of the wing. Blake, Woodfield, Taylor. Kicked it out of the pack. And it's looking to go back inside 50, but straight over to the halfback though for Phillip Islands, who opts to go almost down the line, but actually goes a bit towards the corridor. Blake couldn't get the mark. Handball out. That's an open man inside 50. Now he's going to go for it here. Is Woodfield. And he did, but I think he had a bit more time than he realised, and he's kicked it out to the right. So 5-4-34 to Warragul Industrials 3-2-20. Yet to score are the Dusties on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. They're totally, yet to score in the second quarter, I should say. So in the back pocket, DeSando. First time we're calling his name today, and wasn't a great kick. Straight out on the full. Now it's Alex Tuaika. Kicks it up top. Visser got in the way of Mockett, then just tapped it to a Bulldogs player in accident, and another one! So Bulldogs really starting to kick away here. And it is now a 20-point lead. Warragul, they just look so strong in that first term, but really haven't been up to scratch since. And I believe that was kicked by Bryce Hindhaugh. And that's who I saw at least. But was a lot of red, white and blue going around. Mockett chucks up the leg. Pedersen, a little bit of Lindsay Thomas about that kick. Walker fighting for the footy. Taylor just weaving his way through traffic. This is good ball use. Beck, Visser, back to Beck. Turned it over in the ends, and a free kick for high contact paid in the way of the Warragul Industrials Footy Club. Visser, strong kick down the line. Pedersen was just uncontested. No one took account for him. He's probably been the best player on field today. No surprises about that as all. And it's an uncontested, really an uncontested mark in front of for Hayden Bruce. Just the defensive work was not strong enough and found himself behind, did Brewster. Bruce. Tough angle. 35 out. Goes to the right. So Walker didn't go the 15. Bruce, who just had the set shot there, smothered the kick well. Brown almost got hand to it before Debenham just kicked it out to anyone he could have found. Still remains inside Phillip Island's 50. Taylor taking ruck duties on that occasion, not his natural position. Still won the hit out though. Dwiker, sorry. Finds a mark. Sold his man a bit of candy, and then a big high flying kick. Oh, Blake almost took it there. Got the numbers in front though. Bruce missed on the last one. Left, right, handballs. Another snap around the body. Won't get anywhere near goals here. Brown looking for his third of the day, and he's pushed over the boundary line by Kane Taylor. "18 minutes into the second term, half-time approaching us. Woodfield has been good up forward today. Just needs a goal to add to today's stat sheet." And then it was Oldham, placed an attacker by Kai McKenzie. So the boundary throw-in was placed a little bit more in the favour of Mockett. And then it was Olorenshaw underneath. Pedersen. No hit out one by really either. Debenham tried to get through traffic. Lost the ball. Brown, forever dangerous. Bruce gives a bit of a don't argue and then turns around. Goes for a bit of a Yui. And that's another? No, that's his first, I believe, for Bruce. And that indeed was Hayden Bruce's first goal of the game today. 7-5, 47 for Phillip Island, leading Dusties 3-20, who are yet to score in the second quarter. I reckon they've only had about 2 inside 50 entries here, just getting beaten in every single category in this second term. Try to get the centre clearance out. Walker had to come out of the back line to support. Beck ducks one tackle, and they might be out here, the Dusties. They're just going to be smart. Gibson, Debenham, he's so classy, isn't he? Now Oldham sends a high one for McGarity, or mainly Fowler instead. No, neither of them took it, and I thought we would have got a stoppage there, but no, the ball got out just in the nick of time. Mockett's falling back. Bruce told to go a bit off the mark. Walker. Over to Commodore. And that was just a poor kick there. Didn't hit the chest of his teammate. Oh, they're actually going to call it back here. So Commodore will receive another kick. And oh, hang on, what's going on here? Is it a boundary throw-in or a kick? No, it's a boundary throw-in. Okay, so the kick in the end was, in fact, not great from Commodore and went straight to the feet of his teammate for a boundary throw-in. Bruce, he's been so good so far, hasn't he? So Pedersen, always chucking the knees high. Punched it out. Umpire calls for the ball to come back his way. Thrown up again. Mockett was successful this time. Brown was a little bit held. Beveridge. Oh, that's a big bump from Brewster off the ball. Umpire didn't see it. Now on the wing. Beck playing for the free kick, and he's actually going to get it here. So Bailey Beck will go the 50-metre distance. Geez, that's a short 50. I reckon he's got about 20 metres there. So Bailey Beck, or maybe he's going for a big run up here. The set shot's about maybe 25 or so out. Bailey Beck, first score of the second quarter for the Dusties. It's going to be a goal. Dusties finally get one in the second term. Hostilities resume again. The undersized Visser actually provided a bit of fight and ruck against Pedersen there, and still hunting for it. But now they've got the numbers here, the Dogs. Enters inside 50, looking for Ola Renshaw. Ogden put enough pressure to keep him off the Sharon. Now Blake in the ruck, going against Visser. Ball goes to ground once again. Ola Renshaw was in the ruck on that occasion. Commodore hit his teammate in the chest, but the mark was dropped. Beck trying to soccer it through. Eventually got the ball back, still pushing through against Mackenzie, holding the ball. Free kick paid, and they're going to not allow the advantage there, so it'll be Mackenzie assessing his options up forwards. Blake, no. Sorry by the umpire. Visser still being pretty courageous there in the ruck. It's looking certainly a little bit shorter there, Mockett, but still putting in just as much heart as is Ola Renshaw. Kimber across the body, and then just it was Ogden waiting for the kick to arrive to him. Sends it towards the wing. So it was Beck rolling over the boundary line. Another turnover for the Dusties. Ola Renshaw drops it, and that will do us for the first half. Scoreboard read 7-5, 47-4. The Phillip Island Bulldogs 4-2-26 for Warragul Industrials. It was all Phillip Island that quarter. Warragul were only able to scrounge together the one goal, whereas Phillip Islands, they kicked a fair amount. It was at least 4 or 5. But we're going to take a quick break at half time. There's been a couple of names across the ground that have been impressive. Jackson Mockett for Warragul's being one of them. McGarity at points, but even the Phillip Island forwards like Taylor, he's been good today. Pedersen in ruck and Hayden Brown as well. But anyways, we will be back shortly. Stick with us for the third term coming up shortly.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Hey, I'm Michael Van Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm burning up. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favorite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Hey, I'm Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favorite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Van der Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Sorry about that, technical difficulties on my behalf. Not great with the whole streaming thing, but welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes match of the round in the West Gippsland League today between the Phillip Island Bulldogs and the Warragul Industrials Football Club. I am your commentator, Bailey Allen, and it's been an interesting game, to say the least. A lot of stoppages out here in the wet today, but really what's been more interesting is that the Dusties had a really good first term, and without the wind, and Phillip Island were just really not that clean with their ball use. But that second quarter, they just ran away with it a bit, and now they are leading by a total of 21 points. So in overall, I'd probably say that Phillip Island has been the better side today. Warragul have just unfortunately not been able to keep it up at a persistent level. So we are now underway for the third term. And just as I mentioned before, and once again, another stoppage in the centre square. So Pedersen knocks it out. Beck collected it. Beveridge sent a nice kick up. And no one took the mark, but McGarity just waited for the ball to roll to him instead. Now entering inside 50. They're simply just going to have more scoring shots this term. Visser somehow got it out and only went as far as the Bulldogs' defence. So now Pedersen exiting out. Taylor looking for a mark, gets it. Had a teammate there in Hinhor, but couldn't get to him in time. Now Debenham just throws his opponent off the ball. Now on the wing, Ogden. Walker sends one inside 50, and once again half back. Bulldogs collecting it. Hinhor decides to go for a little bit of a run on the wing. Of course, cannot bounce it on this ground today. Taylor was a bit too slow, somehow still got a pace of it. Tackled off the ball, McGillivray. And then just at the entry to Phillip Island's forward 50, will have a boundary throw in. So it's sent in by Mockett. Bruce had a really good second term, didn't he? Once again, umpire calls for the ball back. Mockett to Todd Beck, the captain. Couldn't escape out of the traffic. The Dusties. Brown almost ran onto it. Instead it was Blake. His kick was smothered by Beveridge though. Still trying to get a good piece of it are Blake and Beveridge. Blake got it out by hands. Taylor, his kick was smothered. Now Bruce at the back of the pack and trying to punch it out of the Dusties. They were successful in the end. Just winning the contest here, the Bulldogs at the minute. Just struggling to get it any further down in to their forward 50. Sends a high floating ball. McGarity couldn't take it. Oh, that was clever there. Now Bruce couldn't get it from Walton, and still looking awfully grey over Cows here. Beck has had a good start to the second half. Kicks it to the wing. Now, DeSando kicks it forward looking for a teammate. And then they'll be put in a tackle, the Bulldogs, mainly by Shane Brewster, who played some years for the Frankston Dolphins in the VFL in 2003 and 2004. There's Staples, who got out to Brewster, who turns around across his body, sends a right foot kick. And now McKenzie was slippery with his ball use. Fowler kicking along. McGarity's got to get involved here. Fowler still looking for McGarity. Ball makes its way out. McKenzie is caught in a tackle. Called play on. And ball won't make the distance. So at full back now. Walker, can he take a mark here? No. Brown was strong. Kicks it inside 50. No, McGarity had 2-on-1. Wanted the free kick. Taken without the ball. It's trapped underneath him now. And umpire calls for it back. Pedersen. Oh, I don't think anyone's actually nominated for the Dusties there. Walker goes for a little bit of a run and he's caught high there, so the ball's going to go back in the way of the Dusties. I like how this third term's gone so far. It's been much more of an even, tight contest. Had a man running to his right in Ogden, I believe. Walker instead opts to go inside 50 to Fowler, who's frustrated with the kick as it resulted in a mark by Pedersen. Blake has been really good today. McGillivray, good punch. Taylor fell over his own feet there. Taylor trying to apply the pressure and just kicks it towards the boundary line. I'll tell you what, I don't know about my stream manager here, Harrison Carbis, but oh my God, I am cold. Just in the hoodie and my work t-shirt, as it was a failed mark by the Bulldog here. Oh, they could be out. Staples, how is the teamwork between the two? Clean inside 50 entry. Fowler, no contested mark. Gibbo looking for it. No, not for Will Gibson this time. Trying to escape out of defensive 50 as they've done so many times before. McMillan got it to his teammate in Dakaya. And bodies now enter in a pile. Dangerously close for the Dusties here. No scores yet. Still 7-5-47 for the Bulldogs to 4-2-26 for the Dusties on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And it's McGarity who's brought to ground. Pedersen knocks it behind him. Now a boundary throw in. Hope you're enjoying your Easter Saturday today. Of course, tomorrow is where all the fun's at. Pedersen. Beck was bullying through the packs, was just tripped over in time, and Fowler just displays the strength there and pushed his man clean over. Big crowd here out today at Philippine as well. Of course, plenty of locals, but I'm sure a couple of people have travelled down the South Gippy Highway for what has been a pretty good contest so far. Pedersen, another hit out to his name. He's been brilliant today. Bailey Beck almost got a fist in there. Mark was still couldn't have been taken by Billy Taylor. McGillivray always going for the first, second and third attempts. Now Bruce. The ball just went a bit further than he anticipated. Mockett arrived late. Bruce tackled again. Pedersen knocks it. Visser couldn't get it. It was Staples who had to went to ground. And then Fowler still no, he has just been double teamed all day. But now it looks like one of the Bulldogs is in trouble. He's a bit slow to get to ground. He's Max Walton. And he's eventually got back up on his feet. So good scenes there. Fowler just really struggling to take a mark. Of course, he is being double teamed on almost every single inside 50 entry for Warragul, as well as the poor condition today is Bruce was a little bit rushed. Debenham has been one of the best for the Dusties today, and the kick couldn't land in anyone's hand and actually ended up going over the boundary line. So that is the first score of the third term. 7-5-47 for the Bulldogs to 4-3-27 for the Dusties on your Totally Wheelwear scoreboard. They're playing out a full back. McMillan was put in a really sticky situation there. I reckon it was about 1 versus 6 and he still got it. And then another clean kick through the corridor. Taylor can't say the same, however. Had to make his teammate in Bruce really run for that pigskin there. Turns inside out. Got DeSando tripping a little bit. Gibson, and here's the rain again, plus a little bit of wind. This could really wreak havoc. Bruce still in it, going for his first and second and thirds. Phillip Islands might have a clean stretch here. Mackenzie goes to Pedersen. Now Taylor, he's got an acre of space. Nice clean drop punt. Right in front, makes his way over the goal line. All clear. And now they're in real trouble, the Dusties. It is a 33-point lead. Oh, sorry, I've got to get my maths right here. 26-point lead, jeez. You can tell I dropped out of maths in year 10. And Phillip Islands, although haven't been as dominant with their ball use and around the contested possessions as they were in the second quarter, they have really just shown that they can apply it, those opportunities on the scoreboard when they get them. Beveridge just barely was able to get off by hand, and then it was Tom Niven is sliding in for the tackle there. Mockett wants the free kick. I think for a little bit of infringement there. Paid advantage. Debenham sends one for Fowler. Still can't take it. Try to tap it out in front of him and then maybe run onto it, but Walton instead got it. Beveridge barely had a piece of it. Phillip Island still one holding the ball. Is that McGarity? No. I think it might be Ogden underneath there. So Walton, 2 possessions in succession. Taylor is called to play on. McGillivray was caught off guard. Sends one. Was dropped by the Warragul player. So just at the top of 50 for Phillip Islands here. Still looking to get it out. Jones. Another stoppage, almost in the exact same position, maybe a little bit over to the right. And we'll go again. And there must have been a free kick given there. I went out to go get my binoculars, and in that same passage of play, it is Ola Renshaw who now has a shot at a goal as the rain has returned. Kirby Ola Renshaw made his debut, or his senior debut for Phillip Island in the 2021 season against Garfield. That was, of course, a shortened season. Ola Renshaw, can he score his first of the day and the year? Not quite. Drifts off to the right. Big, impressive kick down the line. Really liked where he dropped that there in his kick. Then it's just a rushed clearance. And just the class of Cameron Pedersen, still able to get it. The 2019 league best and fairest. Dwyer sent it inside 50, and then Brown was met by multiple Dusties players. Brown has been one of the better forwards. I think he kicked a 2 or 3 in that second term. Still got the numbers here, the Dogs. Taylor looking for any option available. Beck had it and still has it at the bottom of a pack this time. So taps out of the ruck. It was Hindhaw who sent it to Walton, who goes for a bit of run on his opposite number in Adrian DeSanto, number 39. Kimber has had a quiet day today. Is that Bruce? It is! Bruce has another. And he has been simply superb today. If you asked me who was my 3 votes at this current point in time, it would be that man, Hayden Bruce. He has just been superb in this contest. Was best in ground in the 2019 grand final against Coralin, and clearly hasn't regressed in any way since then. And it is now a 33-point lead for the Bulldogs, 9-6-60 to 4-3-27 for the Dusties. They've really got to take action here now. The most they lost to against Phillip Island last year was 30 points. Punched out by McMillan. Rain and wind starting to get heavy once again. Hindhaw sends it out towards the wing. Found a man in Pearce. And then another open man is available. This time it was Jones, whose kick was affected a little by the tackle. Nonetheless, still entered inside 50. And then a panicked kick goes out towards the boundary line. Or will Beck get it in time? He will. Jones still applying the pressure though. And that was terrific. Oh, and the disrespect as well. Jones has just stepped over him. I don't know about that. That's a bit harsh. Pedersen knocks it across. Rain once again getting really bad. My commentary bag is hopping it at the moment. And then Kimber, always fighting for extra possessions. Mackenzie was brought to grounds. Then a Bulldog fell on top of the ball there. So, here we go again. Mockett has really he's been good today, but you just get the feeling that Pedersen has been even better. Handball over to the man we were just talking about in Pedersen. Ola Renshaw tries to find Campbell Brown. Instead found Bailey Beck, who was tackled off the ball. Umpire didn't see it. And then he's going to pay a free kick going back to Phillip Islands. And I think it might go to Ola Renshaw. Yeah, it will. So, Ola Renshaw wind and rain getting really bad now. Hell, I can't even see. And the contested mark is still taken by McGillivray. As I can barely commentate with this rain, let alone mark a footy. Impressive stuff. Warrigal off half back. Move it forward. Visser. The ball was just a bit too slippery. Kicked it mid-air. Did Staples. Now Fowler has to outrun McMillan here, but he's at disadvantage. And boundary umpire is going to say that went out of bounds. And geez, this is getting really bad now. Boundary throw in. Hindhaugh runs onto it. DeSando still keeping a hand on him, however. I like the intensity and the defensive pressure. Blake try to kick it, but turn it over to Ogden. Then Ogden sends a high one. McGarity, no, couldn't get over the top of Pedersen, who just punched it out of the way. $18 minutes into this third term, 3:35 p.m. But look, you wouldn't be mistaken for thinking it's bloody 6 o'clock with this darkness around. It is so cold out here. Pedersen kicks one out towards the wing. Mockett running towards it, and then Blake runs him over to the interchange bench. And there seems to be a bit of a scuffle down there at the interchange bench. Can't see who's at the heart of it, but players are finally separated here, and play is ready to resume. Pedersen knocks one over. DeSando just fell to his knees there on the slippery turf. And for such poor conditions, you're really going to be impressed, especially with Phillip Island, who have been able to put 60 points on the scoreboard. Sometimes even AFL level competition can't put performance like that. So they've had a good game today, the Dogs, in the first game back. However, Dusties are going to enter inside 50. McGarity try to run across, and he's stripped of the ball as he goes over the boundary. And it looks like the rain is starting to calm down a little bit now. And Staples is rewarded with a free kick, I think, for holding the man in the ruck. So Kyle Staples, they really need this, the Dusties. 1 goal in 2 quarters, or a quarter and a half of footy so far. It's a dire situation for this footy club in round 1. Staples' kick will not go anywhere near the goals and goes for a behind. So scoreboard 9660 for Phillip Islands to 4428 for the Warrigal Industrials Footy Club. Fair to say this hasn't been the preliminary final from last year, but still been a good contest. Pedersen goes for a punch. Was missed though. Mockett wins the hit out. Kimber stepped around it, did Pearce. Back over to Brendan Kimber. And now Turner is got a bit of space to work with here. They want holding the ball. Do the Dogs fans still calling for holding the ball. Won't receive it though. And gone over the boundary line once again. 21 and a half minutes into the third term. So back-to-back boundary throw-ins. Thrown in. Pedersen got his hand over the shoulder of Mockett. Still no hit out to a teammate though. Kicked up forward. It was Mitch Puppers, he couldn't quite get to it. And kicks over the boundary line, not on the full though. So at half forward, there'll be a stoppage. Staples. Oh, and there goes your siren. Another short quarter. 22 and a half minutes that one went for. And your scoreboard reads 9,660 for the Phillip Island Bulldogs to Warragul Industrials 4,428. Do they have a little bit more fight in them, the Dusties? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a big ask. So the Bulldogs currently lead this one by 32 points. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with you shortly.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank. And then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favorite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank. And then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes match of the round in the West Gippsland League. It is Phillip Island leading this contest 60 to Warragul's 28, and they're 32-point winners at the moment. The Phillip Island Bulldogs will be interesting to see whether they can get on top of this contest. The Dusties hoping for a big final term. And there we go, siren sounds to mark the final term. Let's get it underway. Pedersen, I reckon he's had about 40 touches, 40 hit outside the big man. 40 touches wouldn't put him past that either. Ball ripped out of Pedersen's grasp. Still running for it are the Dusties. And he's brought into a tackle there by Bruce, who I reckon is up for votes today. He has just been simply brilliant all across the ground. And there you see number 4 as well in Campbell Brown. He's been really good as well. And it's taken out of the contest by Blake, I believe. And Ogden was running back for the footy and couldn't take the mark, slipped out of his grasp. And that's a behind for Phillip Island. So really cold down here at the moment. 15 degrees, my phone reads. I just don't believe that at all. Walker has put in a tackle. Still a big crowd remaining down here at the Cows Recreation Reserve for what has been a pretty good afternoon of footy. Taylor running for the ball. He's met by McGillivray though and goes over the line. And seems like Kimber has gone forward. Usually plays a bit of that midfield sort of role, but deep down in the forward 50 at the moment, and free kick's going to be paid in the way of Warragul. So here is Gibson. Ogden calling for it, ignores that option. Instead opts to go for down the line, looking for Fowler, who has yet to take a contested mark today. It's Cole Beveridge who takes his man to ground. Cole Beveridge, a tall utility, won that flag with Red Hill against Kooringal in the 2019 Division 2 Grand Final in the MPNFL. And he's been an important addition for this Warragul side across the years. Well, last year and this year, I believe. Oh, sorry, 2021 as well. So ball spills out. Phillip Island now have time to move, and Kimber had plenty of room on Ogden. And now the 2018 Best and Fairest winner can line up for his first of the day. This to make it 39 points on a cold Saturday afternoon. That's not going to have the distance. McGillivray smacks it over the line for a rush behind. So, on your Toddley Workwear scoreboard, it is 9-8-62 for the Phillip Island Bulldogs. Dusty's 4-4-28. 3.5 minutes into this final term. They've just struggled to really get it forward up the ground in this last quarter to begin with, the Dusties, but this could be an opportunity presenting itself here. Jolly finds Walker, who's been the Dusties' best today, you'd think. DeSando, it was a clever fake out, and they went on to the right. And Brewster, umpire deemed he had enough of the footy. They've got to move now here. Beveridge on the run, kicks with the left. Oh, that is a perfectly weighted kick. You cannot get better than that. Well, on the left as well, Kyle Beveridge. Nicely done, and has a teammate in Mitch Puppers, who has a goal already today. Kicks the first of the contest. And now he's on a tough angle. 35 or so out. Puppers needs to get his side back in the game. Carhorn's sounding. He's going to actually centralise the kick a little bit more instead of go for goal. I think that was DeSando diving on top of the ball and was unsuccessful in getting a scoring opportunity. The ball up. Staples couldn't get it to his teammates' advantage. DeSando, Gibson ripped it out of his opponent's grasp. McGarity now over to Walker. And a Phillip Island player has possession at the moment, but was at the bottom of a tackle. So left half forward of Warragul Industrials. Pedersen knocks his man out of the way. Gibson still fighting for the footy here. And a little bit of push and shove as well. Still a little bit of hard feelings towards the clubs, especially after that third term at the boundary line over at the interchange bench. So Bruce crashed into the ground. Kimber all by himself. It was a nice clean handball. Brown just had the ball slip out of his hands, however, and then a turnover. Mockett, his kick is smothered. He then falls on top of it, still trying to exit out. McGillivray pushing the back in the favour of Warragul Industrials. So they must move quick here. Mockett's kick is just nowhere near it, and we'll go over the line. So both rucks crashing the ground. Fans calling for in the back. Those calls are pretty justified, I reckon. McGillivray decided to not go for the ball in the end. Instead ends with Jolly, who then kicks it. Mackenzie floated in for the intercept. High contact. And that will go against Industrial. So that was brave from Kai Mackenzie, and his braveness has been rewarded with a free kick and a scoring opportunity for Phillip Island. Brown was running forward. Now Kimber. Here is Bruce looking for it. Sends it forward. Blake couldn't get it. And Jolly just watches the ball go over the boundary line. Margin still sits out at 34 points for the Dusties. Quickly running out of time. They're going to need 6 majors. And I'd say about maybe 20, no, maybe even 15 minutes to take the 4 points in this one. Brewster, wonderful smother by the Bulldogs. Will he get the possession taken off him though? No, not quite. Brewster still has the footy within his grasp. Bruce clears it out. Blake sprinting for it. Brown was lurking there in the forward pocket. McGillivray, he smashed into the turf. And ball up in the forward pocket here. It'll be Mockett and Taylor. Smacks it behind him. Kimber missed his first scoring shot, looking to make it a major on his second though. Sidestep. And out of bounds. So thrown in. Pedersen wins that hit out on that occasion. Beveridge. High contact against Beveridge in the tackle from Kimber. So now a free kick, an opportunity available for the Dusties. Kane Taylor wants it. He'll receive it. Has to run a little bit out to the right. Oh no, he's drops the mark. They're really in trouble here now. Here is Patullo. Oh, he's thrown off it, and then Taylor loses it. Umpire calls play on Debenham. He's got a bit of pressure to deal with here. Beveridge handballs it. Oldham. That was just ultimate composure, especially from Debenham, who's won a couple of senior flags in his time, so no surprises there. Beveridge looking to go through the corridor. Will they continue to go with almost switch-like play here? I think they will. Ogden has Beck out open on the wing, who slides for it and somehow still got to it. Todd Beck, the skipper, kicks to his brother in Bailey, who plays on. Kicks it forward. And that's a free kick paid for the Dusties. If there's any time to act, it's now. Fowler, who is yet to kick a goal today, the key forward, can go for his first on a difficult angle. So Fowler, calm as ever. It's been a tough day for him today. This to get his side really ticking. Fowler, and has almost missed a lot, but just sneaks through for a behind. (9-8-62) to 4-5-29 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Patullo was just knocked out of the contest in the end. It's a lot more Dogs players than Dusties. Oh, Whitfield! Oh my God, my ankles are sore from watching that, but he's put in a tackle. Now Ogden kicks it up forward. Puppers just wasn't strong enough to get clean possession in the end. Griffin still running for it. Dish it off by hands. Now going through the corridor. Taylor had to mark with two people on him. Actually nearly completed the task as well. But no, it was Beck. And now they're going to kick it through the centre square themselves, Warragul Industrials. Visser, a low spearing kick. Not quite for Fowler, who is yet to kick a goal. Didn't have the footy, and he's going to receive another free kick. So Fowler probably doesn't have the journey here. It looks about maybe 55 metres. He points out to his teammates to go right. The kick instead goes left. Was touched, and McMillan is called to play on. And it spits out over the boundary line in the forward pocket for Warragul Industrials. And the sun is finally starting to come out a bit. Can we please get some warmth down here? It's nice to see it. Pedersen hit out one, and then the kick from the back line is just going to go all the way out on the full there. So Ogden will be taking the duties here from the boundary. goes for a centralising kick. Pedersen almost got a really good grab there, but just wasn't quite clean enough. Mockett sitting there in the middle. Woodfield sells some more candy, but this time the ball slips out of his hands. It was Mockett who was caught there. Umpire deems it is holding the ball. Now Woodfield going for his second or third possession in a couple seconds here. Bruce wanted to go for almost a mini specky of sorts. Beck, jolly, off half back. It was brave from the Bulldogs there. Try to turn Taylor inside out. Now Kimber going really hard for the ball. And a ball up 13.5 minutes in at half forward for Phillip Island. Time is ticking for the Dusties. It is now 33 points. Once again, another little fake out from a Bulldogs midfielder. They've been doing plenty of that today. Debenham was just able to get a kick off, but the ball will not remain in play. And you look at the disappointed expression there from Luke Walker, who's put his heart out on the line today, but has unfortunately just not been able to reap the rewards from it. Throw in. Mockett fell to grounds after he won an impressive hit out. Walker found Beck, who puts a tightly placed kick. That was very accurate in the wet. Nicely done to DeSando, who decides to play on, looking for Fowler. Couldn't take the one-handed mark as he's tried to attempt many times today. Patullo behind his head. And just wasn't accurate enough for Billy Taylor. So thrown in. Beck on the outskirts of the contest. Staples. Don't know what he did there. Oh, set his man to a somersault trying to get the footy. Rate it though. Staples smacks it out. Beck has been good in this second quarter, or second term I should say. And once again, players and ball go over the boundary line. Thrown back in. Staples wins the hit out. And goes back underneath the pack, does the Sharon. Pedersen, a best on ground sort of performance today. Kicked out by Griffin. Oh, leapt up to punch that one out, did Mockett. And we're now at central wing. Gibson on the left, looking for his man, couldn't find him. Possession back with Phillip Island. Mackenzie almost lost his footing. Instead kicks it. And what's happened here? Oh, it's too far apparently. Jeez, for a short 15 metres, I didn't think Mackenzie had it for that long. But oh well, DeSando. 17 minutes through this last quarter, you'd be almost ready to put a pin in it, especially if DeSando does not kick this goal. 50 metres out, directly in front, opts for a pass. Fowler cannot mark it. It's now kicked deeper inside the forward 50, and that is an impressive mark taken in the last line of defence. Or was it called play on? It was. Oh no, they're going to deem it a behind in the end. And I hate to say it, but that might just be the last the last nail in the coffin for the Warragul Industrials in round one. Now down by 32 points, and I'd say there's probably only about maybe 7 minutes left of playtime left. Woodfield rolls it over to a teammate, Gibson at half back. Dishes off by hands. Beck, Gibson once again. And it's brought to ground level on the missed handball. Mockett, big punch out of the ruck. And goes over to that interchange bench where that fight occurred in the third term. Been a rather short game today. Usually some quarters go for around about 27 minutes or so, but the average has been about 24 minutes today. And Beck received a free kick for Warragul Industrials. So sends it high up forward for Fowler, I should say. And then a kick to an open man at full forward. Plays on and puppers. Warragul finally able to get a goal on the board, but it may be a little bit too late. And Puppers, he's had a good game for Warragul today. I think that's his second or third, and oh no, it's definitely his second. May have kicked the last goal of the contest there after kicking the first. 9-8-62 for Phillip Islands to 5-6-36 for Warragul Industrials, and what's been a pretty low-scoring affair in windy and wet conditions. Beck kicks it off the grounds. McKenzie tried to tap it to himself. DeSando had a bit of trouble coming towards him, got the kick off in time though. No mark taken up in the 450. Brewster has a bit of time, tries to snap it. McGarity has taken a mark, and it's not the required distance, so umpire calls for play on. So absolutely no worries for Pedersen in the contest. Only goes to the boundary line though. Thrown in. Pedersen beats Staples in the contest. Brewers got a piece of the footy though. Brought to ground by Kimber. Just getting ever so further away from that forward 50 for Warragul, as the sun has once again gone back behind the clouds. Mockett takes it clean out of the ruck. And high contact this time going for Phillip Islands. You can't imagine there's much time left. 21 and a half minutes left. The Dogs currently leading this contest by 26 points. So hits, I said Jones, but we do believe it may be B. Hickman on the chest. Kick by Brown was put a little bit too far in front. Woodfield, a great effort to keep it in though, but didn't have the teammates there. Commodore kicks it to central wing, and that will do us for today. It is the Phillip Island Footy Club beating the Warragul Industrials by 26 points. Scoreboard read at the final siren, 9-8-62 to 5-6-36. And really, apart from that first quarter, it was all Phillip Islands. And certainly wasn't as close as that first preliminary final. Well, not first, but the preliminary final against the two clubs last year. That's Dalston So Warragul have got a little bit of work to do. They couldn't take a contested mark inside forward 50, and I'm not going to blame them due to the contest, but other than McGarity, sometimes their forward craft was just a little bit lackluster, and they got beaten pretty heavily at the in contested possessions, especially when you had Pedersen in ruck just dominating despite Mockett's best attempts. Anyways, we're going to go briefly to our brief post-game show where we'll just I'll give my votes. I think today's pretty clear. I'm going to give one vote to Luke Walker of the Warragul Industrials. He, like I said before, he just poured his heart out into this game, was always going for the contest, had a lot of the footy as well. Unfortunately, just his effort wasn't matched by the entire team at the end of the day, so he'll get my one vote. For two, I'm going to go Hayden Bruce. Had a couple majors to his name, as well as a lot of disposals as well. Was simply terrific throughout the grounds. Laid a couple of tackles, had a lot of the footy as well, so there was no really going past him. For two. And for three votes, I thought it was pretty obvious. Cameron Pedersen. Jackson Mockett really wasn't even that bad in ruck today, but Pedersen was just another level above him and was receiving every hit out, took a couple of marks, was just dangerous at every single moment, and was really the reason why they were so good at the contest today, Phillip Island, other than that first term. But nonetheless, that is it for me today at this contest between Phillip Island and Warragul Industrials at Phillip Island. I have been your commentator, Bailey Allen. Make sure to join us next week. I won't be here, unfortunately. I'm in Adelaide for Gather Round, but hopefully we'll have another commentator available for that game. Hope you've enjoyed our broadcast. It was the Bulldogs beating the Dusties 62-36.